Welcome back. Alpha Music Room. We're going to do some guitar stuff. First, before we really get going with the meat and gravy, we're going to talk a little bit about tuning. Tuning is something that is pretty important when you want to play guitar. If you want to stay in the band, that is. If you want to be kicked out of the club, then don't tune. But, it's good to tune. First, remember this. From low gauge string, low gauge is this thick string here. It's the one that produces a lower frequency to the higher gauge string here. We have this little phrase. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. E, A, D, G, B, and E. Those are your on the 6-string guitars. Those are the 6 strings you're going to use, right? You notice the string goes from the bridge all the way down up to here to the headstock in these tuning pegs, right? If I increase the tension, tighten the tension of the string, I tune it up. In the opposite way, I tune it down, right? So now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either use a reference note, an A for example, and tune everything to that. The way you tune then is either you find the 5th fret in the guitar and you go from E to A and you match them. A is here, A string. If you have a tuning fork at 440 Hertz, you hit it, you match up that. You make sure they're sound the same. Then you match up the 5th fret E string to that A string. You tune accordingly till it sounds like the same note. 5th fret A string to the D string. 5th fret D string to the G string. Now comes the tricky part. 4th fret G string to the B string. You adjust until they sound the same. And then the B string to your E string. That should get your guitar fairly close in tune to get started. Or you get one of these, a chromatic tuner. You don't have to get this exact brand, but you get a tuner that does the job for you. So you see, I turn it on. It tells me if I'm in tune or not. You see this? Right? One tip. When you tune your guitar, make sure you get a nice clean tone. Make sure the other strings aren't ringing over it, because then you just get caught in this kind of in-between land. Just hit the string nice and loud and tune. Right? Hit the string once. If you go like this, it's not going to register on your tuner. It's going to be very frustrating. Also, make sure your volume is all the way up. You're sending the maximum amount to your tuner. So that's a couple of tips and a couple of ways to get you in tune. And that way you get the gig. See you next time at the Alpha Music Room.